Okay, so this video and the next is going to be focusing on Chorale 2. I'm going to approach this very similarly to how I did it yesterday. This video is going to look at the chords in our first measure of Chorale 2, and then the next video, just that we don't have any one video that's too long, that's going to look at the second and third measures. I'm back in finale right now, don't worry, I'm not about to mark this all up, but I just want to start our analysis, want to start our analysis of Chorale 2 just by listening to specifically Chorale 2 one more time. Okay, so now let's switch over, and I'm going to set this up so I can mark this up. We got rid of all that marking on the music that was blocking it. I'm going to go ahead, I just switched my pencil color this time to blue to differentiate it from what we have going on with the red up top. We're in a different chorale. I just figure we should look at things a little different. Let me turn the pencil off. Okay, pencil's off. Let's zoom in. Okay, there we go. Okay, so now we're looking specifically at Chorale 2. Specifically in the first measure of Chorale 2. Now we are still in C major, so we are going to signify that with a capital C and a colon. That's how you tell theory teachers that you are analyzing something in C major. You just have the letter there. If this were C minor, it would be a smaller C, but we're in major right now. And we need to start by just looking at these notes and determining what we have in what order. So our lowest note, once again, is C here. Above that, we have a G in the tenor line. We have an E. Okay, that doesn't look good. We have an E in the alto and a C in the soprano line. So I know that we're focusing on Chorale 2, but I just want to point out right now we have C, G, E, C in that order from bottom to top. And that's the same exact first chord as C, G, E, C in Chorale 1, which we marked yesterday as a C major chord. So we're going to do the same here. It's the same exact chord, C major. Okay, so we got a C major here, and yesterday the C major was our major 1 chord, our capital I, Roman numeral 1. So it's going to be the same today. And again, the note C is the root of the C major chord, and it's our lowest note, so this is in root position. We don't have to do anything to that Roman numeral to tell it, or tell whoever's reading this, that we have a root position chord. We just leave it as is, and we know it's in root position. Alright, so moving on. Now let's look at this second chord we have here. Now our lowest note is an A. The space below C, when C's in a space, is an A. Our G from the first chord, our G here steps up to an A. So right away we have A octaves. We have a low A and an A up 1 octave from that. Our E from the first chord steps up to an F. And finally, our C from the first chord stays constant on a C. So now we see that we have an A, an A. I'm sorry, I'm going to let my mouse catch up with me. We're like, okay, there we go. We have an A, an F, and a C. So if we lay that out in order, well, not necessarily in order, but we should know that the notes F, A, and C forms an F major chord. So that's what we have here. We have F major. So we're going to mark this with an IV, capital, because it's a major chord. This is the 4th scale degree, or it's based off of the 4th scale degree in C, like we looked at yesterday. G, A, B, 1, 2, 3, and 4. Our F is our 4 chord. However, this time, we don't have an F in the bass. Our lowest note is not the root of the chord. The root of the chord would be F. We do have the root of the chord. It's here in the alto line, but it is not our bass note. What we have is the A in the bass, and A is the 3rd of F major. And that means that we're in first position, or not first position, I'm sorry, we are in first inversion, which we mark with a 6. Now we mark with a 6 because if we count from A up to F, and I know there's plenty of notes between this very low A and that F here, but we have A would be 1, B would be 2, C would be 3, D 4, E 5, and F 6. Our root is 6 above our bass note, so we have a 4, 6, and that's exactly how we would say that. So even though we have a C major and an F major in the same order, because we have a different note in the bass, we now have a 1 and then a 4, 6 chord instead of marking it as 1 in root position and 4 in root position like we had up here. So that's our first measure so far. Again, it's a C major and an F major chord just like in Chorale 1, but this one just has a slightly different marking because this one is in first inversion.